Hey guys, welcome back. Pasquale Minasi here. Today we are going to cover one of the most important things if you're growing a business, right? Which is hiring the right people. Yeah? So you want to make sure that you're hiring people that will stay with you for a long term. You don't want to spend time on hiring people that will stay with you for 1 or 2 months, right? So how do you find the right people? How do you make sure that you will find people that will follow your company vision, right? Your vision, and they will feel part of it? Now, in today's video, we're going to cover the step that I have learned over the past 10 years on how exactly I have done this right. Okay? Now, remember guys, I was a bartender. Yeah, that was 10 years ago. I used to have a salary of £1,000 plus some commissions or tips in London. I'm Italian myself, right? And after I was a bartender, I moved into real estate. I spent some time in real estate. I've learned about sales. I learned about branding. I learned about marketing. And what happened when I opened my first company, which is Blue Magic Group, 10 years back, I discovered that I had no space to make mistakes, because all I had at the time was £24,000. That's it. That was all my saving. And imagine that if my goal at the time was to hire the first 5 people, if I have chosen at the time the wrong people, I would have wasted all my money and I would have gone bankrupt in less than 3, 4, 6 months, right? So obviously I had a little bit of pressure, not to say too much, and a lot of pressure at the time, and I wanted to make sure to hire the right people. So what I did at the time, I started to study how the top companies out there recruit people. What are the steps by step to go through each time to make sure that you get the right people in that will stay for a long term. And this is what I discovered, and this is what I've been using over the past 10 years. I haven't changed a single comma. Even though a lot of HR managers and a lot of recruitment managers and a lot of people came in our company and tried to develop their own way to recruit, I made sure that Blue Magic Group International was never changing the recruitment process. Now, let me share this with you. Now, the number one thing is that you want to make sure is that you have a little bit of branding. So you need to have some social media account showing about yourself, showing about the company, showing about your team, right? If you already have a team, you got to make sure that people already have seen it. And if they search for you, they will find something about your team. That's the number one important thing, because people want to belong to something that makes sense. People want to belong to something. All right, that's the number one most important thing. If I'm looking for a job, I want to make sure that I belong to a team of people that in common we have a vision and we work together towards the same vision. Right? People want to feel that sense of belonging, right? So how do you do it? You want to make sure that you have a little bit of branding, social media accounts, showing some videos, some photos about who are the people behind the company, right? If you are starting a new company, obviously you're not going to have that. You want to make sure that you have enough materials, brochures, market materials to show and to sell the vision to somebody. People also love to be part of something new, right? To build something new together, right? So it doesn't matter if you don't have a company yet and if you don't have enough branding already out there, then no problem, don't panic. Make sure that you have a nice looking, nicely edited brochure that has been done by a nice graphic designer, right? That shows exactly what is the company vision and who is the person, yourself, behind that vision. Right? Now, let me tell you step by step. Guys, make sure, look, when I coach my people from all around the world, I want to make sure that people write things down. So if you came to these videos because you want to learn something today, right? So make sure that you have a pen with you. Make sure that you have a notebook, right? I have a $1,000 notebook right here. That's from Montblanc, right? Why I do this is because I decided to make this investment. Why? Because I know that the notebook must be my best friend. So I want you to have 2 best friends in life. Number 1 is your notebook and your pen. Number 2 is your laptop. These two things must become your best friends in your entrepreneurial journey. Okay? Now, coming back to the steps. Got your pen? Good. Number one, you need to understand that you want to have a recruitment process that is a little bit longer and more articulated than anything that is out there. Why? Because you want to get the candidates to feel the difference. Every person who came to us told us, Pasquale, I never went through such a recruitment process. So you want to make sure that you stand out, right? So you can make a difference. So number one thing that you do is you want to have a very good campaign. Now, usually, where do you find candidates that potentially can come and work for you? Number one is LinkedIn. Number two is social media. For us, Instagram have worked very well. We have hired some of the best people that they came and be part of us through Instagram, right? So LinkedIn and Instagram, and there are some tools out there like Better Team, right? Better Team also was going to help you to hire people from all around the world. So it's a software basically that connects with different job platforms out there, and you can literally write your job posts and it will spread it out everywhere. Okay, so Better Team, Instagram, and LinkedIn. These three you can use also, you can add to these three also Indeed. All right. So once you have your first 4 platform, all right, what you want to do next, you want to make sure that which country are you in. For example, we opened our second office of Blue Magic Group in Tirana, in Albania, right? And before we opened the office, I never been in Albania myself. So what I had to research was, what are the job platforms out there that Albanian people go to when they're looking for a job? Yeah, you can find something in Instagram, you can find something in LinkedIn, but I'm sure that there are some platforms in any country you are from right now and you're watching this video where people usually go to search for a job. So if there is 1 or 2 platforms, pick the best 2, contact them. Usually they're going to charge you a couple of $100 to put a couple of posts for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, or whatever it is. So make sure that you are in there because you need to start creating your branding, right? Even in the job portals. So what do you do? Number one, you need to have a good marketing campaign, right? So what people want, we start by what people want. People want to belong to someone, to something with a great vision, right? Number 2, there is to be work ethics, right? People want to work for a good environment, not for a toxic environment. So you want to be able that you mention this in your job post, and you want to be able that people perceive you and your company in that way. And number 3, they want a good financial package. So each of my people in every department, they have a basic salary and opportunities to earn commissions or bonuses based on how much they perform, right? So if you have a company, right now, this is my biggest suggestion for you, is make sure that each of your departments, they not only have a basic salary, but they have opportunities to earn commissions and bonus, okay? Now, what you're gonna do, you're gonna create this marketing. So number 1, we create a good marketing campaign. So you want to write a nice job post, right? With what is the vision? So if you come in, what can you learn as a candidate if you come and work with us? What person can you become? These are the things that you want to make sure that are in there, so people need to feel like, I'm gonna become part of something and I'm gonna become a better person, right? So you wanna write those things down there. So the job post has to be spot on. It has to be very well written, and you wanna make sure that they're not the usual job posts that are out there, right? So number 2, you want to understand that obviously you will have to spend a little bit of budgeting into market your advertisements, your job post into this platform. At the beginning, you don't want to spend too much, right? In Instagram, I remember the first time that we have advertised on Instagram or LinkedIn, we have spent maybe 200 euros, right? For spread it out in like 10, 15 days. We got a lot of CV from there. LinkedIn, we probably spent 100, 150 euros. So at the beginning, obviously we didn't have a big budget, but you want to be prepared to spend a little bit of budget into these portals, right? Because this is how you're gonna get people. You wanna get volume, right? So that's what I focus all the time. So I want you to focus on this as well. Get volume in, and then have a very nice recruitment process to make sure that only the best make it through. Okay, so right, focus on volume. Now, what we used to have at the time was two types of screening. So next step, screening. Yeah, all the CVs that they come in, you want to have a very clear pathway of recruitment process that everyone understands in your company, wherever is yourself, or you have an administrator, or you have a recruiter manager, or maybe you have an HR manager or an HR department. Doesn't matter. You want to make sure that you have all your internal people who understand the process very well, right? So the number one thing that we used to do inside the recruitment process was the screening. We used to have two options of screening. One was the auto screening, right? So we used to have a software, right, that used to screen based on the pre-qualification question that we used to ask, used to screen the CV from there, right? And at the end of the day, the software will give you rejected or accepted based on, do you speak English, how much of experience do you have, whatever pre-qualification question you want to ask there. We used to have a lot of auto screening because obviously every time we open a campaign, we get thousands of CVs. The last time we opened a campaign here in Dubai, to give you an example, in 3 weeks we got over 5,000 curriculum. So what do you want to do? You want to have a person that manually screen all those CV, or you want to get an auto screening software? So write on Google, auto screening CV, auto screening job application, and choose the one that best fits for yourself. The auto screening obviously also is going to be manual. Once the auto screening comes in, so the best CVs got selected and they are pre-qualified, you want to have 1 or 2 people that look manually into the CVs. Right? So what I used to do with people that were looking to the CV, I used to stay close to them at the beginning to teach them exactly what are the things we're looking at, and sometimes to think outside of the boxes. Very important, guys, right? A lot of recruiter manager, they look at the CV, they don't think out of the boxes, and they miss out on a lot of very good candidates that they can be coachable in your company and become some of your best employee ever, right? So experiences are important, but that's not the only thing that you need to look at it, right? So you want to make sure that you read through the CV, right? You make sure there is a photo there, that the date of birth, check the experiences. Yeah? Even if they don't come the same background that you're looking to cover your position on, maybe those background, they might be a good fit for your background, for your company, right? For the person you're looking for. So you want to make sure that you don't look and focus only on the experiences, right? But you read through your CV, very important. And at the beginning, what I used to do, I used to stay close to my people and say, okay, look, show me the first 20 CV, show me who you're screening positively, who you're screening negatively, and tell me, walk me through your thinking methods. So why this CV is getting rejected, why this CV is getting accepted. And if there is anything that you need to coach your person on, then do it there, make sure that they see what you see, right? So then you can test them again with another 20 CV, then 100 CVs, and once you're comfortable enough that your people are screening the right CVs, then you can leave them alone. This is very important, guys. At the beginning, I remember we used to lose a lot of people. Yeah, how did I find out? Because after some time, there were some candidates that said, look, I applied many times to Blue Magic Group, always got rejected. And some of them used to be some of the best people that work with us, right? Why? Because they got rejected into the screening process by someone who at the time didn't understand how to screen CVs properly, right? Does that make sense? So now, next step. Now, the next step, once the CVs are screened, you want to make sure that these people go into a spreadsheet, go into a CRM, whatever you guys are using. At the time, we used to have a spreadsheet. We used to use HubSpot CRM, it's free. In a free version, you can't really customize the stages too much, but you can use a Google spreadsheet, right? That work very fine. Still today, we use a lot of them, right, in our processes. So Google spreadsheet, make sure that you have all the stages there, which I'm about to tell you in this video, and make sure that you take people through the stages every time they go through. So copy paste and move them into the stages so that your people and yourself, you can keep track about what's going on in your recruitment process. So the next step, is the phone interview, right? Now, summary so far, we have done a good marketing campaign, we brought a killing job post, people to feel the vision, people to understand what kind of person I can become if I work in this company. How much can I earn? Yes, I have a basic salary, but I also have commission. You don't want to give too much information about the salary because you don't want people to focus on that only, right? These are things they will discover later on during the stages, because you might change them slightly if you find the right person with the right experience, and maybe you want to give them a little bit more, right? So you don't want to lose those people into the job advertisement. So remember, I wouldn't advertise too much information about the salary. Yeah, some people might disagree with that, but this is how we do things here. Once all these people are screened, we said auto screening software and manual screening, all these CVs are collected. Okay, now we have targeted. You want to have a target at the beginning. 300 curriculum, for example. Now we got the 300 curriculum in, you want to make sure that you have the data, what exactly I have spent and I have done to reach these 300 people, where are all these CVs coming from? Now, once I get all this data and CVs, I put them in my spreadsheet, and what I do with that? The CVs that have been accepted, we move now to the next phase, is the phone interview. Now the next step is the phone interview. Now guys, this is huge. Make sure that yourself or the person that is doing this is going to have a phone interview for 5-6 questions, right? And before you ask those questions, you want to have some pre-qualification question, right? Hey, by the way, I saw that you applied for Blue Magic Group internationally. By the way, are you based in Tirana? Do you speak English? Right? Good. Have you ever had convictions if your company doesn't hire people that had problems in the past? So you want to have like 4, 5, 6 questions to pre-qualify them quickly, right? You can say, look, by the way, I need to add this in the HR file before we start our chat today. I really want to get to know each other. I want to get to know you a little bit more. I want to ask you a couple of questions so that I can add in the HR file, right? Also the notice period. Yeah, how long is your notice period? Some pre-qualification questions that will help you understand if this person matches with what you need, right? And then once you get these pre-qualification questions, so like 2-3 minutes, 1 minute, then you enter the interview. The phone interview must have 4 to 6 questions. Why only 4 to 6? Because every question opens the doors for another question, right? So you need to remember that. You want to make sure that your recruiter manager or yourself will understand that I'm not just here to ask these 6 questions, and then once I ask the question, tell me a little bit more about your experience, I get a response and I move to the next question. No, I want to probe a little bit. I want to go into that next question based on the answer I got. Now, the phone interview, guys, remember, write it down. 20 minutes, no more. Take your phone, you call the leads, you say, hey, this is Pasquale Minasi. Am I talking to David? Yes, David, listen, I saw that you have applied to work at Blue Magic Group International. This is just a very quick call to see if you qualify for a face-to-face interview in your recruitment process, right? By the way, do you have a few minutes now? Yes. No. Okay, can we reschedule? Good. You reschedule your time. If they say yes, keep them on the phone. Go through the question, make sure that you have a form that is printed. So the recruiter manager or the person that is doing that, it has to fill up the form. And at the end of the form with the questions, you're gonna have all the answers, an option to have all the answers, write down all the answers to those questions. And on the back of the form, I used to have like a summary. I always like to get summary from people that are interviewing the candidates for this recruitment process, right? So you get like the questions, the answers, and then in the back is the summary. By the way, guys, if you want the forms that I use, like one by one, just send me a DM here or comment in this post, and I will shoot everything out to you so you'll get all the information that we actually use in our companies today, right? So now the phone interview. Real quick, real fast. They want to get a vibe about the person that is in front of us. Does he match with our company DNA, right? Do they have a good English, right? If you're looking for English-speaking people, do they have a good energy? Are they excited about Blue Magic Group? Do they remember Blue Magic Group? Do they actually remember they have applied for Blue Magic Group? Do they know? Do they hold the information about Blue Magic Group? So these are the information you want to find out. right? You want to make sure that people have researched about you. You don't really want to speak to people that they have made, I don't know, 100 applications and they don't remember. Blue Magic Group, sorry, I don't remember. What is the job about? Not really a good sign, right? So you want to make sure that people went through your job advert and they are emotionally involved in your company, in yourself, right? You're gonna have a very good gut feeling about this. You want to make sure that your recruiter manager knows about this because it's very important, right? Now, once I've done my phone interviews, remember, make sure that the form is completed, put it in your files, and you say, look, I want to schedule a face-to-face meeting or a Google meeting, Zoom meeting, wherever they are. But if you're in the same city, I always get face-to-face, right? Very important, with myself, so the recruitment manager. You want to have a person before you that meet these people, right? And then now, I had 300 curriculum in. I have screened positively 150. Now, I have done 150 phone interviews. Some of them, maybe they never respond, right? Maybe out of 150, you get to interview 100, right? Now, out of these 100, you get a phone interview. What do you do with that? You want to make sure that you're very selective with who I want to meet, who I don't want to meet. Now, I have 100 people that I just phone interview, and I'm getting 40 people for a face-to-face meeting. Why do we do phone interview? Guys, remember, I had a lot of HR managers that came to me and told me, Pasquale, why do we do phone interviews, right? There's no need of doing phone interviews, it's taking too much time. Let's get people straight for a face-to-face interview. That's one of the dumbest things I ever heard in my career. Why? Because obviously a phone interview takes less time than you having to interview someone face-to-face and spend maybe half an hour or an hour of your time if that person doesn't even speak English, right? Or doesn't really have a good energy, or doesn't know about your company. So why do you want to give people a chance to come for a face-to-face and waste your time? So these are things that you're going to discover in the phone interview. That's why the phone interview is actually one of the most important steps in your recruitment, because you want to make sure that you're not going to waste time, right? Don't provide people with time they don't deserve. Right? That's rule number one in business. Now, you want to make sure we move now to step 4. Yeah, so step 1 is obviously before the step 1 we had the marketing campaigns and everything. Then step 1 is the auto screening. Step 2 is the manual screening. Step 3 is the phone interview. And step 4, now we go into the face-to-face with the recruiter manager or the department manager. So someone that not you, very important, right? Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have specific times. Listen to this, guys, this is going to be gold. Right? You want to make sure that you have specific dates and time on when you want to interview these people. And you're going to give people certain slots and they take it or they don't take it. If they start telling you, look, I'm sorry, but I'm working at the moment. I'm sorry, but I'm on a trip with my family. I'm sorry, but that time I'm in a gym, or that time I can't make it, or I'm sorry, I'm in a hospital, whatever they tell. People come up with a lot of shit, right? You cancel the interview and they're out of the recruitment process. Super important, guys. You got to be very strict. Why? You want to make sure that once you choose your time and dates and you say, look, I have now, out of the phone interview, I have 40 people from 300 CVs, 150 that have been screened positively. Out of these 150, maybe 100 get into the phone interview. And out of this 100 in the phone interview, now only 40 are positive and I would like to meet them because they meet the criteria. Good. Now these 40, they have to be invited for a face-to-face interview. Now what you want to make sure is you have specific days, specific time, right? And you're going to provide this time and dates to those candidates, right? You're going to call your candidate, say, hey, we would like to meet you. The only availability will be on Monday at 4:30 to 5 o'clock next week. That's it. If you can make it, we'd love to meet you. But unfortunately, that's the only slot available for the next 3 weeks to meet you. If you can't make it for some reason, please do let us know. You can apply again after 6 months. We want to be very strict. People have to stick with your timing so you don't stick to theirs, right? You own them nothing at that stage. They are looking for a job, you're looking for people, but you want to make sure that they are involved. People will make a plan. If they want to be part of your company, right? Even if I have something else to do, but I like this company, I like this leader, I want to work for them, I will find the time and make sure that I'm going to be there, right? So you don't want to have any exception about this. Very important. Now, you got your face-to-face. Out of these 40, I can tell you right now, not everyone is going to make it through. Maybe you're going to get 30 people coming for your face-to-face. Again, this is step 4. Face-to-face. You want to make sure that a recruitment manager or a virtual assistant or an assistant or somebody but not you will interview these people. Yeah? Very, very important. They're going to have a form. In this form, there will be, in the face-to-face, I would say probably 7 to 10 questions, no more, right? The same thing, a form. They will have to write down the information about the answers they get from the interview, and then at the end in the back, there will be a summary again. Right? Now, the recruiter manager is going to meet 30 people. Yeah? They will confirm the interview. Maybe you're going to miss another 10%. Let's say 3, they don't show up. Oh, sorry, something came up. I'm sorry, I'm in the hospital. I'm sorry, my dog just ruined my sofa. I got to be here. Whatever excuse it, you're going to find at least 10% that are not going to make it, even if they already confirmed the interview. So be prepared for that. Now you got 27 people in. You speak to your recruitment manager, she has run or he has run the interviews, and now out of those 27 people, she will tell you, if it's a she, for example, she will tell you, look, these 11 people, 12 people, these 12 people, they are good, right? Why are they good? The person that is doing the interview for you needs to be able to tell you why they're good and why the other ones are not. Right? Very important. You want to keep an eye on this, especially at the beginning. If it's your first time, you put some process in place. You want to make sure that your people understand this, right? Very important. Make sure of that. Now, you have these 12 people. Same process again. Now, they need to be booked. Down here, usually we have, obviously, the HR manager or the recruitment manager for the first face-to-face interview. Then the second face-to-face interview is done by the sales manager or the marketing manager or manager of that department that this person has applied to, right? And then at the end, we have the CEO itself, so yourself interview. If you don't have a sales manager, if let's say, for example, that these people are applying for the sales job, then get them to you straight away. Face-to-face, now you have 12 people. Again, same thing, day and time. Half an hour. Usually I get 45 minutes or an hour because I really like to spend time with people, right? I don't really get interviews like 20, 30 minutes. At the beginning, I was spending an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. When I used to like somebody, I wanted to make sure so much that these people were the right fit for me and my company that I used to spend even sometimes 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. People were like, whoa, this is the longest interview I ever had. Yes, I want to make sure you're the right fit for the company, and I want to make sure that we are the right fit for you. So this is a lot to ask, right? A couple of hours is not really a big deal. At the beginning, take your time, especially if you just open up a company or you want to start doing the recruitment process in the right way. Take your time. Don't speed it up. Don't panic, oh, that's too much time. Take your time at the beginning, it's very important. Now, face-to-face interview. The way I like to do it, and this is step 5, the way I like to do the CEO interview, so the face-to-face interview with myself, with yourself, is I like to have half of the question to understand a little bit more about their behaviors and attitude, and half of the question to understand a little bit more about their skills and experiences. You want to take people on board that they already know what needs to be done, or they have a little bit of experience to understand how to be successful in that department. Very important. So half of the question, half of the question. So behavior and attitude, and skills and experience. I like to ask questions to people about, tell me a little bit more about your family. Who do you live with, right? Are you married? Do you have kids? What's your routine? What do you do on a daily basis? What time do you wake up? Tell me a little bit more about your self-development. Do you like to read books? Everyone's going to tell you yes. All right, what was the last book you read? Okay, how many books you read in the last 2 months? You discover it, if that's true or not. So ask questions to understand, to deeply connect with people, and you want to understand what's the background, what is that they do in their life, because that's going to give you a very good understanding if a person is going to be stable in your company, or there is a lot of confusion out there that will not allow this person to perform in your company. So I like to know about their private life. Don't be afraid to say, oh, maybe it isn't too private if I ask certain question, right? It's not. you are hiring these people, you want to provide them with a future. You want to make sure that you understand that, because you want to understand also what you're going to coach them on, right? If I'm a leader, so I understand, look, this is my life right now. I want to make a change, right? I wake up a little bit late. I don't train too much. I don't do too much self-development. I don't read too much books, but I want to start, right? I want to do this. Now I know, so if I decide to hire you, I know what you need the most from me. So asking private questions is never a mistake, guys. Now going back here, final interview, remember 30 minutes, 45 minutes, even an hour. Once you got that, you want to match with your DNA. What we created is 9 skills, 9 qualities. It's called Blue Magic Group DNA. It's these 9 words. And you want to make sure that the people that you're going to hire are people that they are going to match with this, whatever is your DNA of your company. So how do you create a DNA? Very simple. What kind of people do you want to have around? What kind of people this company needs, right? Do they need to be ambitious? Do they need to be positive? Do they need to be whatever it is? You want to see what kind of people do I want to have around? Do I want to have positive people around or negative people? Do I want to have ambitious people or not ambitious people? Do I want to have people with a bit of emotional intelligence because, we sell this kind of product and I need people to be emotional intelligent or not? So what do I need? Create your DNA, because this is going to help you. Once, for example, now I've done my 12 interviews, sometimes you say, look, with that person, I'm a little bit undecided. What do I do? Do I need to give her a chance? I don't give her a chance. So what's going to help you to go through this process, mental process of decision-making process is, all right, let me take my DNA. Was this person positive? Was this person emotional, intelligent? Was this person ambitious? Right? So, and match it with that. If all the boxes are ticked, then you say, okay, look, I'm going to give this person a chance. All right, so now what's the next step? The next step is 6. Step number 6 is the academy onboarding, guys. This is massive, right? We've been doing this since 10 years, and it has helped us to hire the best killers out there, right? What happened is, now I like you. And if I like you, I want you to start and work with us. If you're going to be positive in my face-to-face interview, you're going to be invited for, we call it here, the Blue Magic Group Academy. The Blue Magic Group Academy is a Monday to Friday. We used to have 10 days in the first 3 years of the company. Now it's only 5 days. We used to have a Monday to Friday academy, 8 hours a day, morning to afternoon with a 1-hour break. And what we have done, we have broken down all the learning that people need to know about our company. Yeah, you're gonna need to make sure that you're gonna break everything down. You're gonna divide it into courses, right? And at the beginning, it's gonna be you. At the beginning, it's gonna be you, maybe with your hired person or maybe somebody from your team, if there is somebody, or only yourself, to coach these people. Show them about the process of the company. Tell them about the vision, right? How do we do things? Why we stand out from the competitors? So they need to have a good understanding about everything. Now, what I used to say to people is, now, technically, if you're going to be invited for the Blue Magic Group Academy, it's because we want to hire you. Unless you're going to surprise us negatively in these 5 days. You're going to show up late. You're not going to show up with the dress code. You're not going to come. You're not going to show up one day, right? You're going to have a bad attitude and you're going to be disrespectful with somebody, whatever it is. Unless you're going to be surprised us negatively, right? Then something is going to break down the road. Otherwise, it's because we want to hire you. So Monday to Friday is a full learning about our company. And on Saturday, write this down, guys. On Saturday, you're gonna have a final test. We have a 100 questions, open question, final test. And you have to pass 95% positive mark. That means that out of 100 questions, 95 they have to be correct. Well, how do you make that happen? During the Monday to Friday Academy, you wanna make sure that the people, not only they write a lot of notes, but when they go home, they study all the time. It's a very intense 5 days training, right? But at the end of this training, you're gonna decide based on the test, based on what you have seen in the academy. Imagine now, guys, I just spent an hour in a final interview with somebody. That gives me an impression. But if you're going to invite these people to an academy, right, for 5 days, you guess how many things you're gonna see, right? And what I used to do at the time, this is gonna be huge, guys, write it down. I'm very excited to share this with you. I used to put a price to the academy. And I used to say, good, you are invited to the academy. The price of the academy is, I think we used to have 897 euros at the time. Is the price of the academy. It's paid by the company. We cover the cost of the training, 897. But if you leave the company in the first 3 months, you have to pay us back, 897. If you leave between 3 to 6 months, it's 50%. And if you stay with the company for at least 6 months, there's nothing to pay us back. You used to sign a pre-agreement, an NDA disclosure, all right? NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. Start signing the contract and start. The test was good. I've seen enough about these people, so I want to take them through. Now, my suggestion for you, this is what I used to do is, let's say now I have interviewed 12 people and I want to hire only 3 or 4. I'm still going to take 7, 6, 8 people in the academy. Does it make sense? Because at the end, I'm going to hire only my 3 or 4. Maybe sometimes say, you know what, I have 6 very good people. Can I hire more? Can I hire 1 or 2 more? Yeah, some of them maybe might leave after a few months, so I already have a backup. So you want to make sure that you put yourself in a position where you have a higher number of people inside the academy, right? So you can check on more people during the 5 days, and then from there you decide. Does it make sense? Now, what we used to do, once the academy is finished, obviously we used to have a little bit of an onboarding program, right? It has to be well structured. What are the things that they need to learn at the beginning? Write them down and say, day 1, we're gonna do this. Day 2, we're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do on week 1. Week 2, week 3, week 4. The first month has to be a very good onboarding. You wanna make sure that people understand all the processes after the academy so they can start strong. Does it make sense? Now guys, I hope you enjoyed. This is how we used to do recruitment here at Blue Magic Group International for the past 10 years. Now, the best thing about this is that the worst people will leave. The people who don't have high standards will leave, right? So that's what you want to make sure that people are going to see. The high standards, people will live on their own. You don't even have to fire people anymore, right? Once they see the high standards and you're able to maintain those standards, people will just go, or people will not even be part of it. Right? They're gonna say, it's too much work for me. It's better I don't come to the academy. They will start having stories. But what if I don't make it to the academy? What if after the academy, after 1 month, I wanna leave? Do I need to pay? Yes, of course, that's what we just said. So they are gonna go through this many problems that can happen, right? And they're gonna end up living on their own, so it's good. Keep the standards high. Right? Especially if you're at the beginning, or if you're applying this process at the beginning, you want to make sure that you do this right. And if you ever feel, is it too much? It is, but that's the right way. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy it. This is Pasquale Minasi. If you want to follow more tips, remember, I went from being a bartender in London without speaking a single word in English a few years back to own 12 different companies in 5 different countries and managing today's 300 plus employees. How did I make that happen? Because I've studied the right things and I've implemented the right processes. And in my YouTube channel, I'm gonna give you all my knowledge, guess what? For free. Ciao, see you soon.